I am the grandson of Right Thought, and welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. If someone were to ask me, who is the Savior? I would say I am. If someone were to ask me, who is the Deliverer? I would say I am. Now, I hope that all of you who are listening to this message can understand that an answer like the one that I'm giving to these questions, I hope you can understand how it could cause conflict in the world that you live in. I want you to consider how many people would give that answer that say that they love God. What is the answer you would give? What is the answer that you have heard it said by those who say they serve God? Someone says, who is the Savior? You know what you're going to hear. You know the name that they're going to say. You know it. But yet here I am saying, I am. Somebody says, well, the Son said he came in the Father's name. So I would say, is the Father's name Yahushua? Is that the Father's name? Have you ever heard anybody call the Father Jesus or Yeshua or Yahusha or Yehoshua? Have you ever heard anybody call the Father that? But didn't Yahusha say, I come in my Father's name? Didn't he say that? And everybody's like, yeah, that's what he said. Well, what name is that? Did you read where they took up stones to stone him? Because he said before Abraham was what, little flock? Before Abraham was, I am. And they took up stones to stone him. Do you see it? Take up stones to stone means you have vitriol in your heart towards someone because you don't understand what they're saying. When people get confused, they only know how to lash out when they're in the carnal mind. When they're confounded, they only know how to lash because they cannot accept that they're confounded by anything. They can't accept it and won't accept it because the carnal mind is enmity against God. And see, God is about self-accountability. That's why his name is what it is. It's about the self. It's about being. It's about existing. You see? That's what his name is about. So Yahushua came to reveal that name and the power of it, what it does for you, because you were warned not to take it in vain. See? So if you were told not to take his name in vain, then it must be because he'll bring a curse on yourself if you do. If you knew his name, then you'd understand how that would be possible. It's because people don't actually know the Father's name that they don't even know what it means to take his name in vain. See how that's going? They don't know his name. They've been deceived concerning his name, even though his name is right there in the book. If you would all consider the role that Yahushua is playing as a shepherd, then you could look to the old for the picture of the fulfillment that Christ is doing, the picture he's fulfilling. What is that picture I'm telling you about? It's Moses. Moses came to Israel. Now, before he came, he asked the Father, when they ask me, what is the name of this God that sent you to us? I am is the name he was told. So that means when he came to Israel, obviously this is what it means. When Moses was walking around, what name was he walking around in? No one can deny what I'm saying is true. So once you see that what I'm saying is true, it makes you start to wonder, how come I've never heard it before? How come the whole wide world is not referring to the Father by his name, which is I am? You have all kinds of English speaking people on the earth, but yet hardly any of them call on the Father's name, which is I am, which is the name that Moses told the children of Israel. So the rest of the world, I can understand why you don't call him by that name, but the so-called Israelites on this earth, if you call yourself Israel, then how come you don't call on the name of I am? That's the name you were told by the shepherd of the old. And then the new shepherd said, I come in my Father's name. Israel should all know it. Like I said, that's why Israel was the one that took the stones up when he said, before Abraham was, I am. He said the name of God when he said I am, didn't he? And so what was their gripe with him? Watch the connection. If you take the time to listen to this, it'll greatly benefit you. Watch the connection that's made here. They said they took up stones because he said this name I am before Abraham. And then later on we read that their beef with him was not because of any good work that he did. That's what it says. Not because of any good work, but because him being a man made himself equal with God. Now watch what the grandson's about to tell you. When you say I am anything, you are making yourself equal with God. So the people that were about to stone Christ also took the Father's name. Every living being takes the Father's name every day. That's why he said, don't take it in vain. You're all going to take it. You're all going to take my name. If you exist, you will take it. But it's how you take it that's important. So if the master is telling his flock, which is Israel, I came to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The lost sheep of the house of Israel have been duped out of the state of peace. That's why Israel, your capital city, is called Jerusalem for a reason. It's called Jerusalem because it's called the city of peace, which means as an Israelite, you are supposed to dwell in your country and in your city, which is Jerusalem. When you were cast out of that land, it is because you became fearful. You became doubtful. You became skeptical. You became unfaithful. And you looked to some worldly figure or some idol to save you. I told you who saves. But only the faithful will accept that's true. If God's name is I am, then who saves? If Christ said, I have made your name known to they who you've given me. So Christ's work, and he said, I have finished the work. So Christ's work, like I've always said, was to make the Father's name known. So then if anybody follow Christ, what should their job be doing? To make the Father's name known to you, because that's what sets you free. So do you see how nobody wants to make it known to you? So do they really want you to be free? All of these people who say that they do, all these people who claim that they do, all these people who make long speeches saying that they do have your best interest at heart. They don't have shit interest at heart for you if they're not telling you the Father's name, because that's what'll make you free. Christ said that. I come to make the Father's name known. And then he says, you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. If his job is to make the Father's name known, then what other truth is there that makes you free other than making the Father's name known to you? And people say, well, it's right there in the Bible. So how does come he has to make it known? Because there's a veil that covers your heart when you read Moses. Where is I am written at? It's written in Moses. There's a veil that covers your heart when you read it. And that veil is done away with Christ. See how he reveals the Father? Only the Son can. So then if you are able to reveal the Father, then that proves that you are a true son of the living God. That has the seal of the living God, which is I am. Like the grandson is always constantly telling you guys with a louder voice, I exalt the good news and good tidings. Why does the Bible call it good news? Okay, you guys have heard the word gospel. Gospel means good news. What other good news is there than the knowledge that you can be free from any temptation? I don't think there's any better news than that. You become afraid because you feel in bondage to a circumstance, whether it be financial stress. Stress come out of feeling in bondage to a thing. Well, you're bondage to slavery because you're thinking wrong concerning the Father's name. You've taken his name in vain when you have claimed that you are in some type of situation that is hopeless, that is unable to get out of. If you feel that way about I am, then you've lied on him. But how many people in the world right now feel trapped by some type of vice, by some type of stress, by some type of threat, by some type of financial stress, like I've told you all? Worrying about bills, worrying about taxes, worrying about this, and worrying about your job, and worrying about medical this and medical that, and this and this and this and that. That's all, folks. Yeah, your brain is saying, that's all, folks. I can't take no more. And many people tapping out. They tapping out because they taking the Father's name in vain. That's why you tapping out. That's why. You wouldn't tap out if you knew the truth and you return to the truth. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly what one must do to be saved. Watch how simple it is. Saved means the circumstance in your life that seeks to crush you. And many of you are going through all kinds of different things and have gone through things in your life that have tried to crush you, crush your spirit, crush your strength, bring you low and bring you down. Well, when that happens, it's time for you to go inside. You're being pulled to go outside of yourself and pay attention to the threat. That's the opposite of what you need to do. You need to go inside like this here. First of all, see, I returned to Jerusalem first. I've been exposed that I'm not there. That's my error. That's my sin, not the outside circumstance. The outside circumstance can't hurt me if I don't leave the house. It is because I have left the house that I'm overwhelmed. You will be overwhelmed if you leave the ark. You will be overcome by a flood. The flood of enemies should come in, but I shall lift up a standard. What does it say about the man whose name is the branch? He is an ensign. Ensign means a standard. I shall lift it up. See what I'm saying to you, little flock? The Son of Man shall be lifted up. Yahushua also said, and if you listen to him and hear what he got to say, then you shall be healed of everything that's holding you back. I'm teaching you how to do it right now, in this moment, in case you're wondering. I'm teaching it to you. It's the blind who can't see it. Don't get caught up with what people think about what's good and let you decide what's good based on what people think. Fuck that. Go with the spirit which is within you that guides you in all truth. When you hear it, try it, and then you'll see that it's true. That's how bold I am about what I'm telling you today. Try it. Don't just listen to me tell you about it and say it doesn't work. That's bullshit. I ain't listening to this nigga. He's saying some crazy shit. Well, why don't you try it and see? That's how crazy I believe it would work. Nigga, why don't you try it and see? Yeah, no, man. See how you faithless? See how you perverted? See how you're a coward? See how you're wicked? See how you're a pussy? See how you're a damn wetback, jellyback hoe? Oh my God, why are you doing that? To wake you out of your slumber and your death that you're in that's got you so scared to do the thing that will save you. You can't tell me you're wise if you don't take the escape route. You can't tell me you got knowledge if you don't implement true knowledge into your life and do the thing. Hearers, but not many doers. Many say that they serve and you give lip service, but he says, your heart is far from me. Your heart is this. Yahushua called it the secret place. Go in there and pray in the Father's name. So then when I pray in the Father's name. Okay, this nigga tried to make me believe I was poor. Okay, well, I am wealthy. See how that brings calm to me? If I believe that by faith, what does God want me to do? Does he want me to believe things by faith? Well, the Bible says it is impossible to please God without faith. So you guys are sitting here scratching your noggin noodle, trying to think about what I'm telling you, whether it's true or not, that it's going to take faith to please God. It's going to take faith for you to take his name in truth when you're looking at something that wants to tempt you away from it. Do you guys understand temptation? Do you understand the truth of it? Can you judge righteous judgment today? Oh, there's a woman there with a mini skirt, man, and her cleavage is showing. That's a temptation. Let me turn my eye from that. Jezebel, before she enticeth me, and all this nonsense. That's all you guys think temptation is? How about when you get that eviction notice? That's a temptation, isn't it? You were commanded not to fear. So then if you get an eviction notice, 9 times out of 10, you're going to fear. Well, choose that one damn time out of 10. How about that and be set apart from the wide path where the 9 are going? Go the path where only 1 can go. And that one that goes in that path is guess who? I am. So guess what that means for the little flock that rises up in the last days, or as you call them, the 144,000. That's the name where they will all meet face to face and come together as one. That's the place that they're going to meet. It's that name. It's always been the name of God. Why else would Yahushua come and say, I come to reveal that, if that ain't what it's about? Why would Moses say, what's the name I got to tell these people if they don't need to know it? Look at this, look at that, look at this and look at that, and that's what this world's about. Just buy this and buy that, and sell that and sell over here, because that's all we do in Babylon. I don't give a fuck what you do in Babylon. I'm gonna tell you what we do over here in the kingdom. And what we do is we don't take the Father's name in vain, we take it in truth. I am safe, I am provided for, I am well, I am wise, I am strong. Because he said, let the weak man say, I am strong. It's funny he didn't say, let the weak man say he is strong. That ain't what it says. It says, let the weak man say, I am strong. So I understand why it says that. Because a weak man is weak because he feels that he is in his heart. He thinks that he is in his heart. I'm going to keep telling that to you guys. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So then I'm safe because of what I think in my heart. I'm not safe because I'm in this structure. How come you guys can't understand that? I'm not safe because I have an Uzi on my hip that's full with banana clip bullets on that shit. That ain't gonna do anything for me. I am as my shield. I am as my spear. I am as my buckler. I am as my high tower. What is yours? I told you guys, this video you're watching right here today, you're gonna look down there in the comments down there, and guess what? You're not going to see not one person reprove me for what I'm saying today. Isn't that interesting? I'm telling you this ahead of time. You won't see anybody correct me concerning what I'm saying about the name. You won't see it happen. It's not I am, grandson. It's Jehovah Jireh. What does Jehovah mean? Oh, yeah. Go play your little stupid ass games somewhere else. Because I've put childish things away. I'm about saving lives. What are you niggas about? Playing games with them? Well, go over there and play those games on that cliff. And then when y'all play and the ball bounces off the cliff and you go chasing it, trying to catch it, you're going to fall off with it. And you're both going to fall into the ditch because you like to play stupid games. And you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. So I ain't playing no damn games. Why would I? When all of your life is at stake. Because you all deny the name of God. You deny that that's the name y'all have been taken in vain. Well, that's what's destroying you. And that's what will kill you. That's why it says, I do all these things. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. A man must be living in order to think. So that living is his I amness. It is his I am. The fact that he exists. See, that's the Father's name. Existence is. That's how you exist. He breathed into man and man became a living soul. Man wasn't living before Abba breathed. So existence. Is it hard to understand? How do you say you exist? I am. Gosh, grandson, I mean, this is really just true what you're saying. Maybe I should repent. Now see how easy it is to see repentance? See how it's not hard? When you're hearing the truth, you actually can see your sin now. Instead of hearing lies concerning bullshit ass gnats that don't profit you to hear it. You swallow a camel when you take the Father's name in vain. You're killing yourself, in other words. You take his name in vain, but you tell other people, hey, man, what's that on your plate there? What you eating there? It looks like some shellfish or something. You know what that means? It means God's gonna zap you with a lightning bolt. It means you're unclean. You're filthy. Okay, well, every time you take the Lord's name in vain, what does that make you? I don't take the Lord's name in vain at all. Okay, this morning you said, I'm stupid. This morning you said, I'm pissed off and angry wrongfully. This morning you said, I didn't say any of that. You didn't know that you spoke with spiritual groanings? How many times have you seen a person go, that's talking, but they think I didn't say anything, so then you don't know I'm frustrated. I do know you're frustrated because you told me. What did you think when you prayed to God, God heard? Your vocal words or the spiritual groanings? Well, read your Bible and it'll tell you. The Spirit speaks with words that cannot be uttered. So then, what do you guys want to say to me? Do you understand what it means that cannot be uttered? That means your mouth can't say the words necessary. So the Spirit help you with that infirmity you have. Because the flesh won't profit you. Your lip service doesn't profit you. It's the heart that profit the man. Ooh, can they understand me? Can you? It's the heart that profits a man, not his lips. They honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. So then, did that mean that you're pleasing God? No. No. So then go into the secret place, which is where your heart speaks, and speak to God there. Now, when you go there, how do you speak to God without words? You speak to him with the state and condition of your being. See what I mean about how easy this is to understand once you hear it? You're speaking to God with your state of being. So if you say, I'm safe, but yet you're panicked and fearful inside, that's two languages being spoken. One of them is the true, which is the inside. One of them is a lie, which is what you said with your mouth. I'm safe, but you don't feel safe. So then you're not safe. Man thinketh in his heart. See, I'm going to keep telling you that. You got to stop thinking about outward when you talk to God. You got to stop thinking about outward presentation when you seek to please God. He does not want that at all. So stop letting men tell you that that's what it's about. They tell you, oh yeah, I believe Jesus. I believe Yahushua. I believe the Lord. I believe Yeshua. But then guess what they say? They say everything opposite of what he said. He's the one who said, it is not what goes into a man's mouth which defiles him. So you'll let a man tell you that it does anyway. That's what's going on in the world. People are letting men still tell them that it will. Yahushua said it doesn't. So I'm going to believe him. But I'm going to go into the next part that he says, which is what will actually defile you. That's the part I need to pay attention to then, since he scratched off the old world's idea of what they think that it is. Since that's gone now I can see clear enough to see the truth. And I see that it's what? It's what comes out of a man's heart. That's what defiles him. So then if he believes he's fearful, that's what's coming out of his heart to God. But he says with his mouth, I'm safe. So then he will get the reward of the fear. So you think you're fearful, then you are going to be. So you're going to experience a fearful circumstance to confirm what you've asked God for in prayer, even though your mouth said, God, help me to get out of this and help me to this. And then you don't get out of it. And then you curse God as if it's God's fault. It's not God's fault. It is his good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So then how the hell is his fault if you don't get it? It's your fault for not believing him. Claim his name in truth. That is what Yahushua came to reveal to the children of Israel. They were astray because they have forgotten God. They have forgotten his name. They've forgotten that they were taking it in vain. They didn't even know that they were. That's what's going on today. The converted souls that are here that have listened to the grandson of right thought and woken up out of their lie and saw the truth, it is because of that fact. That's what they will tell anybody that they talk to. They will start to tell the other people about I am. I guarantee you, all of you who listen to me, who have been awakened by this truth, are going forth, at least attempting to reveal this truth to others, because you see the truth and the beauty of it. And you say, wait a minute here. I am getting free from every circumstance that seems to bind me. His name will get you out. That's what Yahushua was saying. That's why he was one with the name, and he was not separating himself. Our God is one. So then Yahushua said, Father in me and I in you. So that means that inside of you is the Father and Christ. That's one being. That's what he wants. He doesn't want you to be separated from him. So then when you're separated from I am, then you're separated from knowing how to protect yourself, how to deliver yourself. You don't know how. So then when you don't know how, guess what you do? You panic, you become fearful, the opposite of what he told you to do. So he told you to do something that matches the thing that I'm telling you, which is I am safe, and then feel as if you are, even though it looks like you're not. Feel as though you are. And then you say, well, why would I do that, grandson? And then I'm going to say, do you love Yahushua? And then you're going to say, yes, I do. And I'm going to open the Bible right to you and say, what happened on this water when he was in that boat asleep? My question to you, little flock, why was he asleep? If they were in a storm. Because that's what I just told you to do when you're in your storm. The eviction notice is a storm that surrounds you with thoughts is what it is, because you don't fight flesh and blood. You fight principalities that are in the spiritual realm, the realm of thought. So then you need to come over there and overcome those thoughts with the truth of the Father's name. I have given you example of how I've done it. So then there's no lies here. This is not some man telling you something that he doesn't know from personal experience. I know that what I'm telling you, it works by personal experience 100% of the time. All you have to do is believe it by faith and try it. And then that mountain will move. Doesn't matter what it is. It will move. Abraham and Sarah, what was their mountain? And then let's see if it truly was a mountain to them. What was their mountain in their life? They were given a promise by God that they would have a son. And yet they were already aged when they heard that promise, and they still had to wait more years before it was fulfilled. So then what was their mountain? Their physical ages, the deadness of Sarah's womb. Come on. The emptiness of her breast. How would she give suck to a child? She's 90 years old. Who has heard of this? Well, do you understand that? The point of it? It look impossible, doesn't it? Now, my question is, did the impossible become possible? What does the scripture tell you about impossible things? All things are possible through Christ, which strengthens me. What did Christ come to do? Reveal the Father's name. So then you will be strengthened if you take the Father's name in truth. You will reap the benefit. Let's see. If you're sick and the storm around you of thoughts is saying, yeah, you're going to die, you're going to suffer, you're going to this, you're going to that, you're going to this, you're going to that. The doctor's saying this, and this person's saying that, and this expert's saying this. What does I am say? Because you can decide to say, I am healthy. Doesn't matter what you guys say. I am healthy, and I choose to stay in a calm, peaceful state, which happens to be Jerusalem, the Bible's code word for it. The state of being of peace is called Jerusalem. When you shall see Jerusalem compassed about, see, when you are in a state where you can no longer remain calm, peaceful, and relaxed and serene, see, then you better run for the high places. Do you understand what that means? Run to the mountains. Do you understand what it means? You better run to those high elevated thoughts. For in Zion shall be deliverance. If you got surrounded and had to flee Jerusalem, then you're going to have to be brought back by God's grace. Well, he told you how. Go to that elevated mountain of right thought and think right concerning the storm you're looking at. Wait a minute. I know the outside circumstance is a temptation. So then, deliver me from the evil one, Father, for you lead us not into temptation. See how you just smacked that damn red devil right on his little bumpy ass horn on his head and shit. Bing! Ouch! Yeah. What are you doing over here? I wanted to try to. Remember the word we said resist? We were talking about it in another video. What does the Bible say about the devil? Resist him. So deceiver wants to deceive you out of your state of Jerusalem. So if you're calm and peaceful, that's lovely, isn't it? What do you want to feel today? A state of peace or a state of ruckus? What would you choose? So then how would you use the Father's name? You would say, I am peaceful. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Be it unto you as you wish. See how Yahushua just talks to you? Be it unto thee according to thy faith. You believe that, then you have it. Ask believing. Ask in my name. Well, ask in my name means ask how I ask. How do you ask, Yahushua? How do you do it? I ask believing. I don't waver. Because if you ask wavering, then you are double-minded concerning what you're asking. Do you really want it? Well, then why are you double-minded? Because it doesn't seem like it could ever happen. How it happens is not your job. It's Abba's job. Let Abba do his work. He says, stand still and see how I do it. That's the way you'll know God loves you. I was on the road walking one night, 300 miles away from my destination. I'm aimlessly walking up a road. My desire is to be home. And so I said it in his name. I want you to hear that. I'm not lying. I'm just being honest. I told you guys when I was arrested, I was put in jail. I wrote on a piece of paper, I am in Detroit. Well, at this time, I'm in Ohio. I am in Detroit is what I wrote on the paper. You see? Charges are dropped. I'm in Detroit. I am free. Wrote that on a piece of paper when they took me into the jail. Now, when they released me because of what I wrote on that paper, not just because of the paper, but because that's the state of being I was in, a free man. I remained in the state of being free, so much so that I was thrust out or vomited out of the well. See? The deception, the mire, the seaweed is covering me, I'm drowning, I'm going into the depths of hell. See? That delivered me. I am free. I am in Detroit. Now watch. They released me, so I end up on this road, walking up this one-lane road called Experiment Farm Road. It's in Ohio, in some little place called Germantown, I believe. I don't know. I believe so. But I'm walking up this road, and I'm in Detroit. Remember? I'm in Ohio, though, at that time. I'm in Detroit. Well, this woman comes up and picks me up. Takes me somewhere to sleep for that night. I've told this story before. To sleep for the night. Comes back the next morning, picks me up, buys me breakfast, gives me some money, buys me some supplies, gives me a bike, puts it on the back of her truck, and drives off with me, and ends up taking me the rest of the miles home, which at this time was 200 and something. She drove me the whole way to Detroit. Now I'm in Detroit, see? Now, how did I know that that woman would do that? I didn't know that. That's why I waited to see his salvation, and he's delivered me. See it! Why won't y'all listen to this and do this and be free today? Why won't you? See, now that question I'm asking is the same thing Yahushua said when the Bible says he marveled for their unbelief. See it? The good news is so good to me that I marvel when people don't believe it. I'm like, you don't know the Father's name and you don't know that it will deliver you? I've done it. They were like, you have? Yes. Oh, well, okay, if you say so. If I say so, I'm either lying or telling you the truth. What do you think I am? I'm lying? Is that what you think? Okay, well then how did I get out? How did that woman pick me up and take me all that way then? How How did I happen to be on that road when she said, I'm just driving to get some pizzas for my sons here? Just happened to be going to get some pizza and saw you. Because Abba said he took my name in truth. He said he's in Detroit. Let's go ahead and put his body there. See how that worked? Ask believing and you shall have it. I did have it. I did have it. I got to Detroit. I got on that bike she gave me. I rode to the house. Took me 10 minutes. I rode to the house. When I got to the house, I had no keys to the house, so I had to wait outside till the person who was living there could let me in. Well, when I was riding up the bike up the block, I got up to the house, parked the bike, sat down on the porch, and as soon as my booty hit that porch, the owner of the house carpools right into the driveway. And then guess what? They say, "Who I'm staying at this house with a friend. My friend is in jail at this time. He had just got thrown in jail that day. The day I get there, he gets thrown in jail. So they're like, oh gosh, I'm so glad you're here because I need some help to get this TV down here so I can pawn it to get some money to get so-and-so out of jail. I didn't pawn anything. I didn't have anybody panicking, pawning anything to get me out of jail. But here I am watching how the carnal mind seeks to get itself out of jail. Apple Watches, TVs, Xboxes, his kids' Xboxes, all of that shit had to get pawned to get the money to get him out. When I just said I am free, just proved it. And so she's shocked. The woman that came to get, or whatever, that I had to ride with to get him out, that pulled up at the house, my friend's baby mama, that's who it is. She says, how are you here? Aren't you in jail? I'm free. How did you get here? And we were riding to the jail. I told her the story of how I got there. And she said, wow, you're brave. Well, that's what happens when you're one of the few. I told you, you got to be brave. Faithful is brave. Courageous. The fearful should not enter into these thoughts that I have. I'm safe. I'm in Detroit. Fearful will not think that. He's going, pawn my shit, man. Get some money and pay the bail bondsman. They gave me a $12,000 bond. How come I didn't pay $12,000, but I got out and didn't pay anything? How come? Because the Father's name. That's what did it. I took his name in truth. I am free. I'm in Detroit. I don't care what you try to say. I am is more powerful than anything out there. I'm proving it to you that it is. I'm proving it to you. And I told you, it's testimony upon testimony upon testimony upon testimony upon testimony upon testimony upon testimony of this. I'll give you guys another example. This is just in passing, but I just want to show you how this works. How you could be speaking to God and not even know that you are. I'm sitting one day, it's my dad's birthday. And I'm like, oh, it's my dad's birthday. I want to do something for my dad. I said, well, let me try to think about something, try to get some money, do something for my dad on his birthday. Well, while I'm thinking about this, I happen to go outside and chill. The next door neighbor, who also knows my dad, is like, hey, it's your dad's birthday, man. He be cutting my grass for me, and he does things around the house that I need him to do. What do you think he would want for his birthday? I said, well, I know my dad. She said, does he drink anything that he likes? So I'm like, he likes Sam Adams beer. He drinks it occasionally. He doesn't drink all the time. But occasionally on a birthday or something like that, he would drink Sam Adams beer and smoke a blunt, right? So I'm like, well, a Sam Adams beer and a blunt. He'll be happy to have that for his birthday as a little gift because he's a simple man, My dad's a simple guy. So I tell this woman this, and she's like, well, come ride with me real quick. We'll go to the store and get the Sam Adams. So we get in the car. We go to get the Sam Adams. Now, I want you guys to really pay attention. I know this is just a silly little story, it seems like, but it's not. It's true. It really happened, and I'm going to tell you how it happened. See? So we go to the store. We get the Sam Adams beer. Now, the woman says, well, I was going to give him some money to get him to get him a blunt, but I don't have no money on me. I just happen to have this bag of weed. So here, he can have it for his birthday. So she took the little bag of weed, like $40 worth of weed in it. She rolled it up, put a knot in it, and tossed it to me. So I took it, put it in a little bag with the Sam Adams beer, and she dropped me on back off at the house. Says, I hope your dad enjoys that. So I'll go down in the basement where my dad's sitting. He's on his computer, doing something on his computer. And I come in and say, hey, Dad. He's like, hey, son, what's going on? I said, I got something for you. So he gets up and he leaves the computer and he goes and he sits in his little favorite little chair over there on the side. So he's sitting in his chair and everything. And I hand the beer to him. And he's like, oh, thanks for this. And I had the bag of weed in my hand. I tossed it and it landed in his lap. And when the bag of weed landed in his lap, my dad put his hand over his mouth like this. And he goes, and he gets up and starts pacing around the basement. And I'm just sitting there looking at him and everything. He's pacing around, pacing around. I'm like, what is he doing? Why is he pacing like this? And he goes, son, you know that stuff you've been telling me? I said, yeah, the same stuff I'm telling you guys. He said, it's real. He said, it's real. It works. I said, what's got you saying that? He said, do you know I was just down here thinking to myself, I sure would like a Sam Adams beer and a nice blunt for my birthday. Now, the world likes to call this a coincidence, but I want to rewind the tape real quick and go over a few little pointers, Little Flock, if we can tonight. I said in my own mind as I'm thinking to this woman, probably a blunt and a Sam Adams. Why is that coming out of my mouth? Because it's in his thoughts. It's a request he's making to God. Now, when you make that request, he is the one who decides how it comes to be. And then in this situation, I was the one chosen to fulfill the request of his heart. So I was obedient to that by saying, oh, well, a blunt and a Sam Adams are doing some good. Okay, well, I'll go buy that for him. She went and bought the beers. I don't have no money. Here go a bag of weed. Here, take it to him. So not only a blunt, but he got a whole bag. And it fell into his lap, which means he didn't have to move a muscle to get it. It came to him. What have I told you about how it works? You're in a state of sleep and rest. That's when it's being brought to you. Peace be still. What's in here will come to me. I will draw it by the name of the Father, because the Father is who draws a thing. You see it? You see it? So my dad was just simply having a request of his heart, and it was brought to him without any money, without making a phone call, without anything. So then, just like I got out of jail and was brought to Detroit without having to pay any money, without having to make a phone call, and without having to do anything, it come to you. I'm walking up a road. Abba's the one that told me, start to walk at noon. And I did. And everything that I needed along the path came to me after he told me when to walk. I'll rehash a couple of those details if you guys got some time tonight to just kick it with your boy. When I got out of the jail, I'm sitting in the lobby of the jail. Now, they just released me. I haven't made any phone calls or talked to anybody. So nobody knows this is going on. I'm just sitting in the lobby. Now, I told you, 300 something miles away from home. So how am I going to get home? I don't have a phone. I don't have any money. I just have the clothes on my back, and it's freezing cold. It's in March. So it's cold. This is in Ohio, so it's cold. So I'm just sitting in the lobby because it's too cold outside. I'm just sitting in the lobby keeping warm. As I'm sitting in the lobby, a man named James comes in, and he says, what are you doing here? I said, I'm trying to get home. He says, where's home? I said, Detroit. He says, ooh, maybe I can get you to the bus stop or something. Maybe you can get a ticket and, get you to the Greyhound station. Maybe they can get a ticket and get you home. I said, okay, cool. Maybe. It's better than just sitting here all day. Maybe I was working on my behalf, doing something for me. So by faith, went on and went with the guy. His name's James. So he gets in the car, he drives. Now he's driving and driving and driving. And I assume the place is far. I don't know how far it is. Like I said, I don't know this area. But it's pretty far from where we're at. It's early in the morning. Like I said, it's like 5 or 6 o'clock when I got out. So his daughter is getting out of school. He has to go pick her up from school. So he's trying to get me to this place so that and then he can get to the school. But he doesn't want to be late to pick her up. And I don't want him to be late to pick this little girl up from school. So I said, well, if you can't make it, don't worry about it. Just drop me off somewhere, man. I appreciate what you have done. And go on and check on your daughter. So he says, well, there's a McDonald's coming up. Could take you there. I said, cool. So he pulls into McDonald's. And he says, here, I'm going to get you some breakfast. So I order what I want. He buys it for me. And then he says, keep the change. So I ended up with $12 change. So then I sit down and he goes, okay, I got to go, do what I got to do. I'll come back and check on you if I can. I won't leave you here by yourself. I'll come back and check on you. Okay. Well, I'm sitting there. I've eaten and everything. It's been a couple hours now. So I get about 11 o'clock. I'm like, that was like 7 o'clock when the guy dropped me off. He still hasn't made his way back. Maybe he's not coming back. So as I'm sitting there thinking about this, the Spirit says, get up and start walking at noon. Okay. So I sit there for a little longer, look up at there, looking. I say, okay, I go get a caramel macchiato to get some sugar to give me a little rush of energy real quick. So I get that. Now I have $9. I drink it. I get up at noon and I start walking down this street. And I start walking down this street. I get about 5 minutes up the street, and there's a truck parked on the side of the street, a man named Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson says, hey, where you going? I says, well, I'm trying to at least get to 75 so I can know north. I don't have any phone or GPS, and I don't even know where I'm at. I don't know the city. Just trying to find 75 so I can head north. He says, where are you trying to get to? I said, Detroit. He said, oh, can't take you all the way there, but I can get you to 75. So I hop in his truck. So he takes me there. Now, it would have taken me about 2 or 3 hours to walk to the distance it took to get to 75. Well, it took me about 10 minutes because the guy drove me. We start walking at noon. I start walking at noon. I walk right past this guy's truck who's sitting at a food truck, ordering him some food from a food truck. He's sitting there waiting for his food to get ordered. He gets his food. Come on, man, hop on in. Drives on, takes me to the freeway. I get out. He's like, good luck, shakes my hand and everything. I had a great conversation while I was in the car with him as well. It's Mr. Wilson. So then I get out. I got this plastic bag wrapped around my hand with all my materials in it. It's heavy. All my stuff, when I got out of jail, I had it in this bag. So some of my property's in there. It's hurting my hand. I'm going to hold it over my shoulder trying to walk on the side of the freeway. And it's just uncomfortable. So as I'm thinking about how uncomfortable this is, I said, Abba, a backpack sure would do me some good. I'm not verbally saying it. I'm saying this in my heart. Backpack would do me so much good, Abba. I could just put this in the backpack. Well, while I'm thinking this thought, I see a backpack laying on the side of the freeway. I still have it to this day. So I put the backpack on, put the stuff down in there. I'm like, wow, what a relief. As I'm thinking this, I'm walking. A car pulls on the side of the freeway, stops and reverses toward me. It's a guy in there named Brandon. Brandon says, hey, man, what's going on? I tell him the same story. He's like, well, I can get you 4 or 5 miles up the way. So he's going to go buy him some drugs. Well, he's like, I could take you 4 or 5 miles up the way. I'm like, wow, that's just so kind and thoughtful. You stopped on the freeway and reversed and everything. So I ride with him. He says, I have an extra cell phone here. So I'll wipe my stuff out of this phone and you can have it. So he gives me the phone. So now I got GPS. I know exactly where I'm at. I can see. I'm like, wow, okay, I got a little phone now. Sheesh. Okay. Now we got something going. He just gave it to me for free. Got his little drugs, got back on the freeway. It took me about 4 or 5 miles, like he said. Let me off on an exit and said, okay, man, good luck, man. Looped on around and went on home. I kept on walking. So now I'm walking for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour or so, and my feet get to bleeding because I had some shoes on that were too small. So now I'm going, Alba, if I could I'm willing to walk if I have to. I'm willing to go the whole way. If I just had some shoes, man, I could just do this way easier. Well, I'm thinking this thought. I get up, put the jacked up shoes back on, start walking some more, and I see a Goodwill on the side of the freeway. I go in the Goodwill, I find some shoes, Nikes, that are perfect for my size and everything, fit my feet perfectly and comfortably, and they were only $5. So now I have $4. You see that there, little flock of laters? But I got these comfortable shoes and my feet not hurt no more. So I got the backpack, the shoes. Now I'm bawling and crying over what I see God doing for me. I can see it all the step of the way. You just keep helping me. You just keep supplying me every need that I need. And I'm just going on faith, what you told me to do. So then I go across from the Goodwill. There's a McDonald's there. I've been out there for a while. I'm hungry now. So I go in the Goodwill. I go in the McDonald's and I get a burger and like a drink. It's like $2. So I got $2 left. Put the $2 in my pocket. I'm eating the little burger and everything and drinking the water, and I'm sitting there. And a girl behind the counter comes and says, hey, this guy ordered an ice cream cone and then he just turned around and left out of the McDonald's, got in his car and left. Guess he must have forgot. Do you want it? I'm like, sure. So take it. I'm sitting there licking the thing like a little kid. But you just, I'm crying and shit, salt tears dripping into the ice cream. Man, but you just got me the shoes, the backpack. You're getting people to help me all along the way. I just can't even understand how this is even possible, but you're just so awesome how this is going. Oh my gosh. That's how I feel on the inside. Well, if you do that more, you get more. That's the key. Give him the sacrifice of praise every single day, little flock. Sacrifice some time to praise Abba. And if you do that, then you'll get the thing you seek for, and you'll get it in abundance, and you'll get more. But if you lack praising God, if you lack having gratitude for what he's done, then even what you seem to have shall be taken away from you. Because that's what you do with an unruly, ungrateful child. You say, you didn't even say thank you. Isn't that what you say when your child just snatches the thing out of your hand? Hey, say thank you. Show some appreciation for what was given to you. Well, why do you think Abba is any different? It ain't wrong for you to tell your child that, so why would it be wrong for him to tell you to have some gratitude for what he's doing? So I'm just in this state of gratitude. Then I get up and he says, okay, go ahead and walk there. I'm like, okay, don't go on the side of the freeway anymore. He's like, nope, it's getting dark. No one wants you getting hit or somebody not seeing you or anything. So walk up this road. It's starting to get a little dark, and I'm going, and I can see the rain clouds coming in, so I know it's going to be raining. And I'm thinking to myself, where am I going to sleep? See, little flock, take no thought of your life. That's what he was telling me, but I was still going, well, how? But I also knew that he would do it. I started to get more bold. So I'm walking up this little experiment farm road, and I'm walking and just talking to Abba and looking up and marveling over the beautiful sky and the stars and everything. And the corn is all high next to me, so I can't really see anything. I'm just walking. Then here comes Starla and her sons in the truck. Hey, what you doing out here? Gonna get to Detroit. Oh, well, maybe I can figure out something. Come on, hop on in. Goes to the pizza parlor, buys the pizza for her family and her sons. Asks me, do you want anything? I said, yeah, sure. She buys me 2 pizzas, guys. I didn't say she gave me 2 slices of pizza out of her box. I said she bought me 2 whole pizzas. Remember I had the $2? Well, if you had $2, what would you be thinking? I got 300 miles to go, and how am I going to feed myself? What am I going to eat? Take no thought of what you shall eat. You see how I mean these are commandments that you must keep in order to please God? If you take no thought, I'll provide it for you in ways you can't imagine. Well, now I have 2 pizzas sitting on my lap. I'm in the back of a RV, sleeping in a bed with my shoes kicked off. Hearing the rain tattering on top of the roof, making me extra sleepy and comfortable, crying, feeling so much glee and gratitude for what God has done for me. I'm sleeping in the back of an RV when I'm walking on the side of some road in some strange place going, what am I going to do? It's starting to rain. I need to get somewhere and get some shelter. Bam, here you go. Wake up the next morning. She comes, brings me breakfast, like I said, gets in the car. She takes me the rest of the way to Detroit. Now, did you hear all those series of events, little flock? That's why I took the time to actually give my testimony and tell you every series of events so that you know I'm not making this up and lying. I told this story before. Doesn't it line up like Legos every time I tell it? Because I don't have to think of what to say. All I have to do is look back at the experience that I had. That was the series of events that led me back to the house. Now, I want to tell you all something. I wrote one letter when I was in there, and it was to a particular person who I call the witness. I wrote them a letter telling them not to fear, not to fret, don't worry. I was home before the letter arrived. So if I had known I was going to be home before the letter arrived, do you think I would have ever even sent the letter? But Abba likes to show you his power like that. You didn't even know you'd be home before the letter got home. If you knew it, you wouldn't even have wrote the letter. Just to show you how you didn't know. I don't. That's what I want you to know. You don't know. It's okay you don't know. See? It's okay that you don't know. Sorry about that, little flock. It's okay that you don't know. Read the Bible. The king was like, we know not what to do. We don't know what to do, but we fall into your hands. And Abba was like, fear not, stand still and see the salvation. So then that's what I was doing. And I kept seeing the salvation and the deliverance every time. And it all came from his name. I am in Detroit. So I will get you there since that's your request. You're free and in Detroit. So I am. You see how that worked, little flock? This is what I'm telling you about. What is deliverance? Who is deliverance? I am. See how that makes people get perturbed? What do you mean you are? What do you mean you are? I didn't say you are. I said I am. Do you know I am today? Well, you're talking about you. No, I'm talking about I am. Why do you keep saying you? Why do you keep saying that? You is not coming out my mouth at all. The letter U ain't even coming out my mouth. I am is what I'm saying. Yeah, you. No, you is another nigga. I am is what I said. Y'all hear why I keep stressing this? Because it's foolishness to the carnal mind what I'm saying. This is why they reject me. This is why they do not hear what I'm telling you, even though I've already gave you many examples of how it works. So it's not like I'm just telling you something without the proof that it works. I'm telling you something with the proof that it works. It's the kind of preacher that you're listening to. A preacher who knows that what he preaches is effective and works. And he's no hypocrite. A hypocrite will teach you something he don't even know. He ain't never even tried before. He just know it sound good or it might work, so he tells you. But he don't know from personal experience. Everything that I did out there when I was out there was done in the secret place. It was done inside my heart. And it was enough to get the results. I didn't have to do anything outside of myself. That's what the deceiver wants you to think you have to do. Don't you see that, little flock? That you must do something outside of yourself. That you must run. That you must save your life. So if somebody's telling you to save your life, who is that? Is that Yahusha? Or is that the deceiver? Yahusha said, if you seek to save your life, you'll lose it. But if you give your life up for my sake, see, then you'll find it. And so I am resting, I am peaceful, and then I always ended up in those situations when I just claimed that. Inevitably, it will settle down into that state of being. Like the storm does, it will dissipate. But it must be calm in you in order for the storm to dissipate. Now, what storm are you facing today, little flock? You know what it is in your life. Now try what the grandson is telling you. And then when you see it work in your life, go spread the good news and raise that vibration that people seem to not think that is possible to have. Good cheer, gladness. You see it? Not fear, not doubt, not shame. Y'all understand that today? So be free today, Israel, if you will have it be so, because it's available to you. The kingdom is at hand. Shalom, Israel.